Friends, today we are talking to the person who feels stuck. Maybe you are a small business owner working 18 hours a day but seeing no growth. Maybe you are a manager who feels like your team just doesn't care. Or maybe you are a student dreaming of starting something great, but you're afraid of the business side of things. Today, we are diving into EntreLeadership by Dave Ramsey. Now, Dave isn't just a guy who writes books. He's a man who built a multi-million-dollar media empire starting from a card table in his living room after losing everything. He has over 30 years of experience in the trenches. This book isn't a textbook, it's a battle manual. It's a New York Times bestseller endorsed by the greatest business minds in the world. Let me ask you a question. Are you a leader or an entrepreneur? Most people think they have to choose one. But what if I told you that being just one of them is why you're failing? Dave's core philosophy is simple. A business is only as good as its people, and you can't lead people with just a spreadsheet. You need the passion of an entrepreneur and the discipline of a leader. You need to become an EntreLeader. This is truly the business playbook for real people. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and the bell icon so you never miss a book that could change your life. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. The EntreLeader. The hybrid identity. Did you know that nearly 50% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years? It's a staggering number that keeps founders awake at night. Most of these businesses fail not because the product was bad, but because the person at the top was out of balance. Dave explains that there are two types of people in business. There's the entrepreneur, the crazy one, full of fire, vision, and let's go energy. Then there's the leader, the organized one, the one who builds systems and manages people. If you are only an entrepreneur, you'll create a chaotic mess. If you are only a leader, you'll create a boring, soul-crushing bureaucracy. Think of it like a car. The entrepreneur is the engine, all the power and explosions. The leader is the steering wheel and the brakes. Without the engine, you go nowhere. Without the steering wheel, you crash into a tree. Friends, an EntreLeader is someone who has the get-it-done attitude of a founder, but the serve-the-team heart of a leader. It is the perfect balance of grit and grace. The lesson from this chapter: success requires the passion to start and the discipline to stay. Chapter 2. The vision and mission. Mapping the destination. Imagine getting into a taxi and the driver asks, "Where to?" And you say, "I'm not sure, but drive fast." That sounds ridiculous, right? Yet Dave found that over 60% of employees don't actually know what their company's main goal is. They are just showing up for a paycheck, wandering in the dark. Dave argues that your vision and mission are not just fancy words for your website. Your vision is what you want to be. Your mission is what you do every day to get there. If you don't define these, your team will eventually lose heart. People don't work for a company. They work for a cause. Think about a championship football team. Every player, from the star striker to the guy cleaning the locker room, knows the mission. Win the trophy. They don't just play football, they pursue a goal. If your team doesn't know the goal, they are just kicking a ball around an empty field. You must communicate the why until you are blue in the face, because once people buy into the why, they will figure out the how. The lesson from this chapter: if you don't know where you're going, don't be surprised if your team gets lost. Chapter 3. Decision-making. The cure for paralysis. Dave shares an uncomfortable truth. Indecision is the silent killer of dreams. He's seen brilliant businesses die simply because the owner was too afraid to make a choice. They wait for more data or the perfect moment. But while they wait, the world passes them by. In this chapter, Dave teaches us that an EntreLeader is a decision-making machine. He doesn't mean you should be reckless. He means you should gather the facts, talk to your mentors, and then pull the trigger. He uses the spitball method. Throw ideas at the wall, see what sticks, and move on the winners quickly. Imagine you're a captain of a ship in a storm. If you sit in your cabin debating which way the wind is blowing for 3 hours, the ship sinks. You have to pick a direction and steer. Even if it's a slightly wrong turn, you can correct it later, but you can't steer a ship that isn't moving. Stop waiting for perfection and start moving toward progress. The lesson from this chapter: a good decision today is better than a perfect decision next year. Chapter 4: Hiring and Firing. Protecting the greenhouse, Dave Ramsey has a famous saying, "If you hire a dog, don't be surprised when it barks." He studied hundreds of companies and found that the biggest source of stress for any boss isn't the money. It's the crazy people they accidentally hired. Hiring is like a marriage. You wouldn't marry someone after one 30-minute coffee date. So why would you hire a key team member that quickly? Dave's process is slow. He does at least 4 to 5 interviews. He even meets the candidate's spouse for dinner. He wants to see if their life is a mess, because if their life is a mess, they will bring that mess into his office. Think of your company culture like a beautiful garden. One toxic person is like a gallon of bleach poured onto the grass. It doesn't matter how much fertilizer you use. That bleach will kill everything. Friends, you must be slow to hire and quick to fire the bleach people. It's not being mean. It's being a protector of the good people who actually want to be there. The lesson from this chapter: hire for character and train for skill. You can't fix a bad heart. Chapter 5: Communication. The lifeblood of the team. There is a shocking stat in business. 80% of workplace conflict comes from poor communication. People aren't usually trying to be difficult. They just don't know what you want. Dave explains that as a leader, you are the chief reminding officer. You have to talk, then talk again, then send an email, then have a meeting. Dave says that silence is the enemy. When there is a vacuum of information, people fill it with rumors, fear, and negativity. If you don't tell your team what's happening, they will start making up their own stories. And usually, those stories are bad. Think about a relay race. The most dangerous part of the race isn't the running, it's the handoff of the baton. If the two runners don't communicate, the baton drops and the race is over. Your job as a leader is to make sure the baton of information is handed over perfectly every single time. Clear communication is the oil that keeps the machine from catching fire. The lesson from this chapter: to lead is to communicate, and to communicate is to be clear. Chapter 6: Financial Health. The Ramsey Rule. This wouldn't be a Dave Ramsey book without talking about money. Dave is famous for being debt-free, and he applies this to business too. He says that debt is the ultimate thief of your business's future. It makes you a slave to the bank and prevents you from taking risks. He teaches a simple system, the envelope system for business. You don't spend money you don't have. You don't take loans to expand. You grow as your profit allows you to grow. This might be slower, but it is solid. When a recession hits, and it will, the companies with debt crumble, while the companies with cash buy their competitors. Imagine a mountain climber. Debt is like a 100-pound bag of rocks on his back. When the weather is nice, he can manage. But when the blizzard hits and the path gets steep, those rocks will pull him off the cliff. Friends, cash is oxygen. It gives you the ability to breathe when everyone else is choking. The lesson from this chapter: profit is the goal. but cash flow is the reality. So friends, that was the complete journey through Dave Ramsey's book, EntreLeadership. We've looked at how to balance the fire of an entrepreneur with the wisdom of a leader. Let's recap the lessons. 1. Be an EntreLeader. Balance passion with discipline. 2. Define the mission. Give your team a cause, not just a job. 3. Decide quickly. Movement is better than paralysis. 4. Hire slowly. Protect your culture like a garden. 5. Communicate constantly. Be the chief reminding officer. 6. Stay debt-free. Cash is your greatest tool for survival. This book is for anyone who wants to build something that doesn't just make money, but makes a difference. It's for the person who wants to lead with integrity and sleep well at night. Dave reminds us that business is easy until people get involved. But if you master the people side, you master the business. As Dave says, everything rises and falls on leadership. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and share it with a friend who is starting a business. Don't forget to subscribe to Focus Me for more summaries that get straight to the heart. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep growing. Stay focused.